I get this question all the time. Private equity versus business loan. Like, what's the right one? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I'm going to share some things that I believe you should seriously consider before making a decision. So probably the two most important things to look at when you're deciding, private equity versus business loan. A lot of times business loans will get caught up in the cost of a business loan, the interest, having to make those payments. Like, what does that do to the business? You need to understand that it's important to know those things. There's so much money out there today. You can find private equity investments if you look for it. Let's assume it's 20% that you're giving up. Well, now for eternity, 20% of your profits every year are going to go back to that equity investor. Are you able to borrow money paid off in 1, 2, 3, or 5 years or 10 years? What's the cost of interest? And when you look at the cost of interest versus, the long-term effect of selling private equity, you really got to balance that out and see what makes the most sense for you. If you're like, hey, I want to go the equity route, that's great. What else are they bringing to the table besides money? And I think that's really important. And if you're going to go that equity route, can they bring other things to the table that will help you scale and build your business? Like we've all watched the show Shark Tank, and what's really interesting is a lot of times those people are making equity investments, but they're also bringing a lot of other things to the table: relationships, some fame, some experience. Those things have other really great values. Don't just take a check from anybody. Make sure they're bringing other things to the table that can also help you scale and grow your business. You can structure a private equity deal in a lot of different ways. You can sell a small piece of the business, or you could be selling a piece where you're giving up control of your business. Now you don't get to call the shots or have the say anymore. Another thing that you should consider is, when you're doing a private equity deal, are you taking any chips off the table, or are you just bringing in an equity investor that money has to stay in the business to grow and scale your business? So you really want to understand those aspects. On the business loan route, when you're taking out a business loan or any other types of business financing, you're not usually giving up any type of equity. You're still in the driver's seat. You still own the business. You can say and do what you want. Also, a true business loan or any form of business financing, any type of interest or fees that you're paying for that financing is tax deductible, so you're able to write those things off. And then again, on the business loan route, there's a quick turnaround time. You can get qualified, you can get funded, quick, fast, and easy. You can get back to growing the business. The business is yours. I see a lot of people utilize business financing to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and get their business to a certain size. Then they go and do a private equity deal. They take some money in, they take some chips off the table, and they bring some money into the business to now go to the next level. And now they've partnered up with amazing groups of people or an institution that can help scale their business that much faster. It's not that you should only do one or the other, but there's a time and a place. And if your business is not really, just kind of getting going, you can, take out a business loan, and you're like, I don't really want to sell just yet, or I don't want to bring in a partner just yet, then utilize financing to get your business to much larger. Then you're in more of a driver's seat and maybe a better position where you can actually bring in some private equity and also take some chips off the table. So depending on what type of business you are, private equity might be the only route. Like if it's just an idea, like a lot of R&D companies where there's just so much research and development, it might be really hard to take out a business loan, and support that debt and that monthly payment, where you may really need some private equity where you can borrow some money. There isn't really any repayment terms. You're just giving up a piece of that business, which essentially means giving up a piece of profit, and essentially means when you're selling the business, you're giving up a piece of that sale as well too. So these are like the balancing, act things that you need to take into account, and things that you really should think about before you do either. There's some benefits to borrowing money, but again, borrowing money, there's payments and interest and repayment terms that start immediately when you borrow money and do financing. There's benefits of private equity where, hey, you can raise money. There is no, necessarily repayment terms depending on the structure, but then you're also giving up, a portion of your business. And again, there's a time and a place, and sometimes it's a combo of all that makes sense. So, That's something to keep in mind too, and I think a lot of people don't talk about. There's a lot of people out there, they're financing folks. Like, I'm a finance guy. I built a platform. We help finance companies all across the country, so I'm like the debt guy. Then you've got the private equity guys out there, right? The Silicon Valley, hotshots. And, the private equity guys are like, they're all only private equity. You should only sell equity. And the debt guys are like, you should only raise debt, never sell equity. I don't think you should get stuck in either one. I think there's a time and a place and sometimes a combination of all. So before you go and make a fast decision, how much money do you really need right now? Sometimes when we go for financing, we're like, I need $1 million, but really like $100,000 or $250,000 actually gets you from point A to point B. Then you can reevaluate and go out and borrow more money again if needed. And when's the timing right to do either? You've got to weigh out those options. Every business is different, and every business at every cycle, there's different things that you need to do. A lot of people will have their opinions about this, but no one knows your business better than you. So do yourself a favor, pause, take some thinking time, put some pen to paper, weigh out the options of everything I spoke about in this video. I hope you found it helpful. There's no right or wrong way to go. It just depends on where you're looking to go with your business. Drop a comment below, please subscribe, but most importantly, make sure that you keep growing.